Okay, Sarah, I got your drawing tablet up. I think it's a great choice. I think a drawing tablet's right up there with a sketch pad as far as inspirational tools. But my main concern here is the instructions and what is required of this piece. So let's take a look. And I've been doing this. You probably saw a couple of videos where I've done this, but I've done this. I've taken this. We kind of want to put this over here so we can kind of look at both. But it's kind of tough to do. Oh, there's your PDF right there. Sorry, I didn't see it. Okay, that should only take a second to load. Hold on one second. Oh, hold on one second. So I've got your PDF up right here. Okay, cool. Thanks for including that. So, okay, let's take a look at the instructions. Your selected object must be the dominant image. Make a big part, crop part of it. You don't necessarily need to see it all to what the community what it is. Okay, that brings up a question of hierarchy. These two images, it's hard to tell which is the dominant image. It really is because they're so close in size and they're both so large in the composition that either one could be. I'm thinking this is the dominant image, and so well, either way you've got that. But think about hierarchy. Not only in we've been talking so much about hierarchy and typography. Think about hierarchy as in presenting the images. Okay, so your selected object must be dominant. Your poster must include an image of the object in use. Okay, so there's the object in use. Your poster must include one image that results from the use of your object. If you have a selected example, okay, you can read through that example. That's just using the example of the wire cutters and the trimmed flowers. But your poster must include results from something from the use of your project. Maybe you could show a piece of artwork. If you go over to the Intuos, I'm going to do that real quick. I'm just going to go over to the Intuos site because I want to show you something real quick. I've used this before because you're not the first person that has used your tablet for inspiration for this piece. So let's just go. I want to go to Intuos real quick, and I just want to go to their site, and I want to show you a couple of things, how they show. Okay, this is how they're showing inspiration. Do you see what I'm saying? So they're showing the product, and then they're showing inspiration or not inspiration, but a result of the project. So presumably the mind is going like this. You're looking at this, you're going Intuos, Wacom tablet, and then you're going, okay, and this is what you can do with it. So that is something that I don't know how you're going to approach that with your piece, but that's something that definitely has to be considered is, sorry for jumping around like this, is that your poster must show the results of the use from the object. Finally, you have your poster must include two components from the selected object. So you're going to have to show two components. I don't know if it would be a close-up of the buttons or a close-up of the pen or something, but you need to show those two components. A paragraph of text. Now, I think that the design in everyday life, I mean, I would create some sort of a typographic composition. This is really just very mundane. The type paragraph itself, again, it's really big and you're not really considering too much with negative space here. Basically, I see this overwhelming tendency to want to fill the whole page up to the corners with elements. You got very, very little negative space on the page. As far as typography goes, we learned that one of the things that you do in typography, I think it's one of the 18 rules or 17 rules, this is called reverse. And it means white type on black background. And when you reverse type, there's a couple of things you want to take into consideration. Number one, serif typeface is not your friend in reverse type. You want to try to use a sans serif because those little serifs, they kind of really interfere with the white on the black background, especially at smaller sizes. It just doesn't look as clean, and those serifs just really wreak havoc on the legibility of white type on black background. If you want to stick with serif typeface, open up your kerning so that you can get a little bit of space between those letter forms. Okay, because right now this kerning is really super tight. Same thing on there, you would maybe consider using a sans serif typeface or some sort of a typographic composition. I've been going through and showing everybody this because Erica did such a nice job on her typographic composition. That's it right there. So she really went out of her way to design the typography for the poster, and I think yours could help. Your composition might help from that kind of attention as well. Also, a couple other missing items. You have the phrase design and everything. You must include some small caption text either with your result image or on your component parts image. Just describe what we see. So you need a caption. Then we have a couple of design requirements. Your image must come in contact with the page somewhere twice, which you've done there and there. The size is right. Design must combine images. Full color, keep your image dominant. You must use a grid. That's the other thing is the grid. Are you using a grid? I mean, you're using a 2-column grid. That much is very, very obvious. But is it more intricate of a grid than the 2-column that we're seeing? Okay, is there an underlying grid that's deciphering your placement and will decipher the placement of the other objects that you decide to use as well? Okay, so those would be my recommendations. Mostly just following, getting the requirements down. But if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Okay, thanks, sir.